Hi, I wish we were together practicing yoga. I really miss seeing you. And because we can't be together right now, I wanted to offer this my first time doing a yoga video like this at all. So we'll see how it goes. Want it to be really enjoyable for you. And if you want to just watch, you can watch. If you want to practice along, you can. The level of this class, I would say it's very much like the slow flow or the gentle yoga classes that I teach at Yoga Branch. So it's not going to be anything that's going to have dangerous elements, nothing too pretzel-y. So I'm being careful to offer you up manageable poses, but above all, I want you to be careful to pick and choose what you want to do. If you're not used to some of these moves, you can always just watch and replay and give it a go when you're ready. I'll give some options for you to modify. Even if you don't do any of these poses and you just breathe with me for the next 40, 45 minutes, however long this goes, it'll be approximately that long. If you just take deep breaths for that time, you'll have done a world of good for yourself. So we're all just doing our best, and I hold you in my heart. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart and sit up nice and tall. Relax your eyelids closed and take a breath. Breathe in so that your heart lifts and your rib cage and lungs expand in vibrant health. When you breathe out, it can be out the nose or out the mouth. And do that again at your pace. Now let's do the deepest breath we've had a chance to take yet today. Inhale. Hold a few moments. And a deep, complete exhale, emptying from top to bottom. Empty out down to the low ribs and low belly. When that feels complete and strong, let that sort of vacuum feeling come in to bring that next inhale up. And a nice, easy exhale, relaxing your hands down as you empty out your lungs. Free up the shoulders. So after sitting for a little while, I always like to switch out the crisscross. If you'd rather be kneeling, you could kneel. But I'm going to put the foot that's in front behind and switch out. I have my legs like this in Sukhasana, but you could always have your ankles crisscrossed. If you'd like to sit up on a little lift, I'm sitting on a little block. You could use a folded blanket or a pillow. Okay, so we'll take care of the neck first. Inhale, raise your shoulders, give a little hug up to your ears, and exhale, roll them back and relax them down. Okay, and then inhale up tall through your crown. On your exhale, lean over, tilt your head to the right. And go in the depth or range of motion that makes sense for you so that it feels like a nice stretch, something effective, but it doesn't hurt. You're just breathing right here, not bouncing or doing anything forceful, just gentle self-care. And this is a place you can stay. If it gets too intense, you back out of it a little or change the angle. If it's fine and you want more, you can take your left hand down, and that little extra weight of your arm relaxing down will create what's hopefully a welcome pull along here in your neck and upper traps. And this might be plenty, or you can extend your hand more actively and see how that feels. We want it to feel good. Okay. And for a little more, you could flex the heel of your hand and maybe even give the webbing between your fingers an extra stretch, widening your hand. Last breath. Good, and then relaxing that arm down gently. Bring your head back upright. And before the other side, we'll just roll out the shoulders and make sure you're comfortable. Okay. All right. Inhale tall. And on your exhale, we'll go the other way, tilting your head gently over, just on enough of an angle. It might change as you breathe. You can go deeper or back away. And breathe. Good. And again, you can stay right here or let your right hand relax down. See how that feels. Okay. Good. You're doing great. And then take your hand out if you want to add a little more. It can be a bit more impactful to extend. Put a bit more pull on those muscles. And this feels good for me. It feels a little intense, but in a good, healthy way. It doesn't hurt, so I'm going to flex my hand and open up my fingers a little wider. Good. Good. All right, and then relaxing your hand down. Finish out the breath and ease your head back up. And we'll roll out the shoulders one more time. Okay. So before all the current challenges that we're all handling right now, finding a way to handle, I thought just talking with braces on was my biggest challenge at the time. I have braces on the inside of my teeth, so it makes me lisp a little bit. So I feel a little self-conscious doing this, but I'm doing my best. So we're going to move now to not just the neck stretching, but the side body as well. And the funny thing with these braces is saying breathe or breathing is one of the hardest things to say. So inhale, exhale. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take the right palm face up. Inhale, reach all the way up. And it's not just the arm lifting, it's your whole side body. You're going to inhale, reach up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, lean over. And that might be plenty. You're going to breathe right here. For more, or for even more support, you could take your left hand over and give yourself a little support, palm down or fist down. And as you're leaning away from this hip, instead of picking it up and bringing it with you, really keep it well planted so you get a good stretch on your side. Good, one more breath. Great, and inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, relax your hand down, and we'll go right to the other side. So opening your palm face up. Inhale, lift, and it's a whole body side stretch. Reaching up and over and either staying there or giving yourself some support. And breathe. And if that hip wants to come with you, keep it planted. You know the benefits here, you're stretching your quadratus lumborum, that side stretch. It's the hip hiker muscle, so it's stretching up between your ribs and hips. And stretching all your breathing apparatus, your intercostal muscles. So this helps not only your back feel better, but also your knees feel better. All the joints above and below this area are benefiting. All right, on your inhale, pull all the way back up. And then on the exhale, relax your hand down. All right, so we're going to move from sitting to the next position. So take your time to do this. You can pause anything. You could repeat that or just call that enough. Okay? And if we're going to move on, I'm going to have you come to where you're comfortable on your hands and knees. So I'm just showing this on the mat, but in the slow flow and gentle class, a lot of people put a pillow or a blanket down, so it might be a good thing to do, especially if you're on a hard floor. Okay, so planting your hands well. You might just stay right here or lean a little bit back. If it's okay to go into child's pose, if that's okay on your knees, then you're going to lean back further. And you could rest your head down a little or all the way. Stay here if this is comfortable. I'll mention a couple other options. One other option is to have your hands folded under your forehead, or even with stacked fists to do that. So you have more support for your neck. And this is child's pose. One more breath, so directing your breath up into this area at the kidneys and adrenals. helping relax your low back and relax your nervous system. And this might be a place you come to and put a little music on and stay here as long as you like. If you're ready to move on the inhale, we're going to start to lift back up. Okay, so let's come up to hands and knees. There's always options. If being on your wrists like this doesn't feel right, come down onto your forearms or do something similar, maybe even be on your fists. Okay, and we're going to glide through cat-cow. On your inhale, tilt your tailbone up, gently bring your heart forward, curving your spine. On your exhale, following your breath, you're going to do the opposite shape, hugging your hips under, and gently rounding your back, relaxing your neck. We'll do it twice more like that. Inhale, elongating one direction, and exhale, elongating the other direction. Here's a chance to lift up your low belly. Last one. I said last one. For those of you that want to move on, you can, but for those of you that want to stay with that, keep doing cat-cow. If you enjoy doing downward dog or something similar, you're going to press into your feet and into your hands and press your knees and hips up and back. Breathe here. And what feels good to me is to bend one knee and give a little extra stretch through my straight leg into the heel, into the Achilles. Next breath, other side. We'll come into middle, one more breath. And this whole time I've been on my hands, but if you were doing this on your forearms, that works just fine as well. And what I mean by that, of course, is being more down here, similar stretch. Okay, so you can make it work for you, and if you watch this several times, you can mix and match what you do. From this extended position, we're starting to walk the feet forward. So bring your feet up toward your hands. You might have your knees bent to make that nice and relaxed. You'll inhale and exhale. Let go into a forward fold. Give your head a little relaxing movement, freeing up your wrists and arms. And let go through your mouth. One more time, like a sigh. And we're going to lift up now. Use your leg muscles and put your hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And then exhale, get strong and solid in your legs, hands to hips. I'm going to bend my knees to show a real safe way to stand. Inhale, lift your torso up as one unit and press through your strong legs into the floor. Get it all the way up to standing. Shake out and relax your shoulders, and then we'll move into some standing postures. So these are meant to build stability, strength, stamina, and to get us standing really solid on our own 2 feet. So you'll have your feet comfortable distance apart. I say about a leg length apart, but whatever works for you. Okay, and we'll start off with a nice symmetrical forward bend. So if it's more comfortable for you to lean on a table or a couch or lean your hands on a wall, you could face a wall and have some support. You could also go partway down with your hands to your legs, or go further, relax down into Prasarita Padottanasana, widespread foot pose. Last breath. And stay stable and avoid being dizzy when we come up. You don't want to go too fast. We'll inhale, come up part way. Strong in your legs. Exhale, hands to your hips. And then inhale with your heart bright, come up and exhale. Okay, so I'm going to teach with mirroring. So I'm planning to say right, but go to left. So we'll see how that goes. All right, on your inhale, extend your hands out wide. On the exhale, bend your right knee and glance down to check that your shin bone's pretty much straight up and down, your knee solid over your ankle, so it's not drooping in or going way out past your toes. It's going to be really stable and safe for your knee this way. And then you can gaze just beyond your right fingertips and breathe. So I'm showing sort of a medium version of the pose. If it feels better for you to hold it with your legs a little closer, you could. If you want more, I'd say a wider stance with your back foot so that when you bend, this front leg has to work more, and you can see now my thighs more parallel to the floor. Totally optional, okay? I'm just holding the pose. One more good deep breath, breathing with your throat. Good, and getting ready to come out. We'll inhale, press up. Exhale, relax your hands down and swivel your footing. I'm going to come in a little closer to where I was on that first side. Rotate not just from your ankle, but from your upper thigh, so your knee is as safe as possible. From center, inhale, extend, and exhale, bend your left knee. Take a little visual to make sure that it looks right, make sure it feels right, change anything if it doesn't. And then we hold with the upper back strong and deep breath. You're strong and stable, you've got this. And again, those options I gave the first side just as a little reminder that you could be holding this a shorter time or holding it with your legs closer together or a little wider. With that back foot's the easier one to move than the front foot, a little safer and more stable. And you could always sit deeper in if you're feeling like you're getting stronger and want more challenge. Last breath. Great, relax your arms back down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, we'll switch out to the first side again. So the setup is heel to arch alignment for these poses. We'll inhale, open for triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Exhale, reach down. We'll be here about 5 cycles of breath. Probably the most gentle place to look is down. Avoid letting your head collapse down, but you can look down so your neck is comfortable and you're stable. Some other options would be, if your neck feels fine, to look up. And if things start to feel more ready for a deeper stretch, you can always go down lower. I'm showing this with a reaching arm. Options are hands to hips or a little wrap behind your back. Last breath. Okay, and I like to teach coming out in stages when we do gentle or slow yoga. So you're never going to jar, you're always going to be smooth and steady. Bend your knee, get your legs stable, use your core to lift back up. We're going to add a second pose on this side. So you've got a bent knee like in the warrior pose. On this one, we're going to lean the forearm down comfortably onto the thigh. Don't have your elbow digging in or dumped into your shoulder. Just be nice and supported, heart bright. And then reach overhead, extending so the left side of your body faces the ceiling and you're really stretching the hip and shoulder apart from each other, and breathe. This is Parsvokkonasana, side angle. Good, one more. Nice and steady on your pace. Inhale, press all the way back up, and exhale, we'll reverse the footing for those 2 poses on our second side. Inhale. And on your exhale, Utthita Trikonasana, open, extended, triangle pose, reach down. Maybe you start in one place and change it as you go. Avoid pressing right on your knee. And if the straight leg is a little too much, or if that's pushing too much on the back of your knee, you can do a micro bend anytime. Okay. Gazing either up or letting your drishti, your gaze and focus be down for more stability. This top hand reaching or resting. Okay, or even wrapping. Last breath. Good. At your pace, you'll look down, bend your knee, get solid, and then lift up so your shoulders come right up over your hips. Inhale there. Exhale, lean over for Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. Get your foundation set, and then lengthen out your left side, your right side. You're really lengthening both sides, but where I feel it the most is on this top side of the body. Deep breath. One more time. Good, and then steady legs and get ready to lift back up on your inhale, rise, and exhale back to center. Okay, so I'm gonna turn myself a little differently so that you can see. I'm gonna take the hands behind the back and interlace the fingers. You could hold a belt or strap or something like that instead, or put your hands on your hips, and we'll be really hugging the upper back. So in this position, we're doing another symmetrical forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart. Good, and exhale, ease down. You can come a little ways, or you can come over and down to full forward bend. And this is one of my favorite ways to get rid of tension in the upper body and to really strengthen your postural muscles. Partway through, I usually switch out my grip. I'll switch to stacking my fingers the other way. That way it feels like my brain gets used to doing things the unusual way, and my opposite elbow, shoulder, and wrist get equal time. So as you're ready, you're steady in your legs, and you're going to inhale, come up. Good. And then exhale, release that and let that go. And then take your heels in and leave your toes and knees turned out a little bit. It's not as big a turnout as in the triangle or the other poses we did earlier. It's just a little turnout. I'll show from the side what you want to avoid. So you don't want your knees collapsing in when you're deep in this pose. So you're trying to squeeze these outer hips, outer thighs, to send your knees back away from, edit. Try to send your knees back and away. Okay. So you can do a little bend of the knees and be building strength. You could bend quite a bit more. If your knees are okay with it, you could sit down pretty low. Just find your level of challenge. Okay. Hands can be on the thighs or the hips, at your heart, okay, or reaching out in front. And breathe. One more breath. Good, and then find center. And you can extend into star pose from here. Reach out from your middle. Good, maybe even looking up. Inhale. And exhale, relax your arms down. Okay. So we're going to do that pose one more time, which might be good news, might be bad news, but we're going to get prepared for it by getting the feet a little more ready for an extra challenge that I'm going to give you. So right now I'm doing single heel raises. And you can do that too to strengthen your feet. You could even stop and circle your ankles. Take care of them. If you'd like to add a little balance challenge, feel free to touch a wall or reach your arms out. And either one at a time or together, you can lift and lower. So you inhale up and exhale down. Okay, inhaling up and exhale down. And sometimes there'll be a little dancing that happens there. That's fine. You're just improving your balance and your foot and ankle strength. One more breath. Good. Okay. And then we're going to bring the hands down and take the feet back to the position we were just in. with the option now of bending your knees, and we'll take the elbows out to the side for this one. Okay, hold here, this is plenty. Or do a heel lift on one side and breathe. Good, steady that heel down. See how the other side is. Take a breath. Good. And then bring that heel down. I'm going to hold on just a little longer. Take any break you'd like. If you can tilt over to the side and take a breath here. And up and over, other way. Good. And then victorious, exiting into star pose. Inhale, reach. And exhale, relax your hands down. You can slide or toe heel your feet back in and give your body a nice little shake out. All right, so our last standing pose is going to be just a chance to stand on one foot. Keep it really straightforward. I think I'll turn to the side. A way to do this is have hands on hips or out to the side, and you can simply lift your heel. For more, steady gaze, and you can pick more of your foot up off the ground. This seems to be the leg that we're paying most attention to, which is partly true, but the leg that's going to weight bear is actually really important to pay attention to. So before you go further, just check that your knee feels fine. If it doesn't, change something, maybe turn your foot in a little more or bend that standing support leg. And then with your gaze steady, you might pick up your foot or your leg, bending your knee out front with some circles to the ankle. Okay, for a more dynamic challenge, instead of staying right here, you could do an extension. Take a breath. And then on your exhale, release. Good. Okay, one side to go. So you can pick up your heel and stay there. Check that your supporting leg feels nice and stable. Change something if it doesn't. This can be done with a bent knee. And maybe a little hover, or your knee out front. Okay, staying right here, or bringing arms and leg into extension. Good, and exhale, relax all the way back down to center. We're going to come down to the tummy. So moving your way to a comfortable spot toward the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold over and down. A little half sun salutation to get there. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, fold and relax. And I'm showing it with pretty straight knees, but if that's not comfortable for you, you can have your legs bent. Take a breath here. And then make your way down to your tummy. You'll place your hands. You can bring your feet back and crawl down. For a little more challenge, you can pause in a plank pose or a knee down plank. Maybe even bring your feet up so your core engages. Okay, one more breath in any of those options. Okay, and then make your way down, either gently roll, or you could do a partial chaturanga. I'm going to bring my hands in just a little closer so my shoulders can be safer, a little more out front of the fingers. And then gently ease down to your tummy. Good, and let's take a brief little rest here. So here's a chance to wiggle out your back and just get yourself comfortable for some low back strengthening. Okay. Hands along your side. For Ardha Shalabhasana, half locust. Steady, strong legs. Lift your navel up toward your spine so your low back is supported. And on an inhale, lift your upper body. Okay, any amount. You're strengthening and lengthening your spine, and you can stay right here. Okay. Or you can explore adding on, hands reaching. Keeping the forehead a little in front of the chin so you're not overdoing it with your neck. Okay. If you're going to test out the leg part, there's an optional leg lift. You could come down a little bit lower first, pull in the navel, and then see how it feels to bring your legs in together and up. And if that's all going well, stay there or add a little more extension. And breathe, you're doing so well. In slow flow and gentle, a lot of the students stay right here or keep the legs down. Some really love to do this next part, so it's not important that you do it, but you do get more of a stretch in your thighs if you bend your knees and reach either towards your feet or take hold of your feet. Okay. Once you've got them, you give a dynamic kick back and open the chest. And staying there, or if you're in the straight leg variation, staying there. Any of these shapes are uplifting, heart-opening poses. One more inhale. Good, and on the exhale, ease all the way back down. If you turned your face one way last time, you turn away the other way this time. After this rest, we'll take a Sphinx pose. Your elbows are planted under your shoulders. They can be a little more out in front for a more gentle angle. Your hands plant down well, and you're just lightly pulling your hands and forearms toward you to traction your sternum bone, your center chest forward. And breathe. And this is the place you can stay for this next posture that I'm going to guide you through if you don't want to do the next one. You could bring your elbows in for a different angle on your back stretch. Okay. Or always a crowd pleaser in slow flow and gentle. People usually request this one and then, rightfully so, complain about it. But it's really strengthening. It's great for us. So I'll show two ways of doing forearm plank. One is with your knees staying down. I'm showing my hands laced together here. They could be in prayer or they could be down flat. Okay, so any of those positions are fine. Pull in at your middle and lift your hips up enough away from the ground that you feel like there's work for your core. So I'm feeling it already. If I was up too high, I'd be avoiding it. If I was down too low, it might pull on the low back in a way that doesn't feel very good. So if you're feeling it in your core strength, that's what we want. If you can add the next part or work towards it, you're going to push into your feet and lift your knees up off the ground and then hug in strong. So keeping your face and neck and arms as relaxed as possible. Breathe. And you're wrapping your skeletal frame with your muscle strength. Two more cycles of breath in and out. Great, and we did it. You're gonna relax your body back down and turn over onto your back. Good job. Okay. All right. Oh, as always, the floor just feels so good when we get to this part of practice. I'll take a moment here to let the ground support you and relax your back and your shoulders into the mat. All right, we'll do one more back bend. For this one, for safety, you want to use your shoulders and the back of your arms for support, of course your feet and legs as well. But you want to be right on the back of your skull, behind that bridge of your nose. So in other words, you're not pushing your neck way up or tucking your chin down, nice and steady. So set that up by wriggling your shoulders in, creating a nice hollow space where your neck is safely curved, and then using your leg strength, lift up and maybe even take those elbows in a little bit closer to lace your hands together or leave your hands flat. And breathing here. Knees parallel, strengthening the back of your legs, your gluteal muscles. And bridge pose, two more cycles, in and out. Arms steady, lift up your heels. Move your arms out of the way if they were under you, and then gently ease your back down. Good. And take a moment to relax. Good. You can lightly glide your knees side to side. And then bringing your body more to symmetry, extend your right foot up. And as you breathe, take some circles with your ankle, wiggle your toes. Circulation moving down the leg. And we're going to flex the ankle. And doing this is going to keep the ankle and knee steady when you turn your knee to the side and place the outer right ankle on your left thigh. And this is a place you can stay, or you can do little movements with your thigh bone and the hip socket, or hold steady. Okay, the other option in reclined pigeon, you'll pick your legs up, take your right hand between that triangle shape your legs are forming, and hold around the left shin or under the back of the left knee. And then any amount that you draw that leg in and have the right knee moving away, it's going to give you a good stretch in the gluteal, the inner thigh, or the outer hip. Breathe. Good. One more breath. Either stay right here, or to add a little bit more stretch, if you move your legs just an inch or two to the left, like that, you're going to put a bit more pull on that right hip area. So if that feels good, do that. If it's too much, come back. One more breath. Good. Come back to center if you moved. Take your leg down, and we're going to add just 3 squeezes here. This is optional. This could be a chance to rest or to hold your pigeon reclined a little bit longer. But as another way of strengthening the core, you'll take your right arm extended out to the side like this, and your left hand at your temple. Not to pull your head, just to place it there lightly. We're going to do 3 squeezes that are like a little twist for your obliques. You'll inhale. On the exhale, pull your abdominals in and lift up, and maybe that's it. Or you could lift a little more and squeeze left elbow to right knee. And 2 more times. Good, and then relax all the way back, and we'll unwrap. And do that flow on the second side. So extend your left foot up to the ceiling and give it a little circle. Wiggle your toes, your ankle. Lymph and blood flow moving down your veins, returning to heart and lungs. Okay, and then bend your knee out to the side, flex to keep the ankle stable. That way you're stabilizing your lower leg, letting the stretch come up into your upper hip, or upper leg and hip. And you might do a little movement here. Okay, or decide to hold steady and relax. Okay, or for more intensity, like you're threading a needle, weave the left hand between the legs and pick up the right thigh. You can hold around the shin or behind the knee. And you pull in any amount. Over the 20 years of teaching yoga, when I've had friends who are having sciatica pain, this is the recommended pose for yoga teachers, physical therapists. To my understanding, this is one of the best ones to alleviate and prevent the discomfort of sciatica. That sciatic nerve is about as thick as your baby finger, and when it's getting pinched, it is so uncomfortable. And this is a great way to take pressure off that area. Okay, and also help with hip mobility, low back comfort. One more breath. And you'll stay with this if it's working for a little bit more. Move your legs slightly further to the right, and that movement's gonna maybe, at least it does for me, put a bit more pull on the left side. And take a breath. Okay, and then back to center. And we'll release this leg down and do those 3 abdominal squeezes on the second side. So the left arm's out to the side, navel's drawn in, and the right hand's up to the right ear or temple. So if lifting your neck doesn't feel right for you, I want you just to squeeze your abdominals in on each exhale. Just doing that, I shouldn't say just, because that's a lot, that's plenty. For more, you'll exhale and come up part way, or exhale and squeeze, right shoulder to left knee. 2 and 3. And then rest all the way back down and unwrap. Okay, you're gonna bring your knees in, give your back a nice little smush onto the floor. You can rock, you can hold steady. Great. Okay, so we're down to our last few movements. We'll take a twist to both sides. So your knees, you're gonna relax over to the right. And instead of just leaving your hips slanted like this, tuck your right hip underneath against the floor so that your knees are pretty stacked to the side. Okay? And then turn your shoulders so that your chest faces up. And that's a great setup if you want to pillow your knees and that's more comfortable, that's fine too. Okay? Right hand could go on the left thigh for a little more pull. And breathe. You may or may not feel a stretch here. This might be intense for some, relaxing for others. Great for your digestive system. One more. Good, and breathing, come back through middle carefully. You might use your feet or pull your knees in. Just take care of your back and we'll go to the other side. So you'll take your legs over to your left. And here, if I just leave them like this, it's pretty slanted. That can really be pulling on the SI joint. So I suggest tucking your hip under more. So you're really on the outside edge of your left hip. And then keep that and tuck your shoulders underneath. So now your chest faces right while your belly faces left. And breathe. Relaxing your face and jaw, knowing you're taking good care of yourself and doing something for you that nobody else can do for you. Last breath. Okay, give yourself support to come all the way back to center for our last moves. Okay. So this is how this one goes. Your feet come together, sole to sole, your knees relax apart. This might be fine for you. If it's not, put some pillows under your thighs so you have more support. We could easily bring the knees together quickly, but we're not going to. We're going to take about a minute, a full minute, to slowly bring the knees from apart to together. So settle in, get everything comfortable, palms face up, and relax. No such thing as too slow. As you breathe, start to recruit your muscles in really subtle ways to bring your knees from apart to a little bit closer together. Breath by breath. Deliberately slowing things down so that we're noticing things we might normally rush through. Strengthening areas that we maybe underutilize. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll get a little shaking or trembling. A lot of people have told me that they do as well. I think we're just waking up some brain-body pathways, helping them be stronger. So don't worry if there's a little shake that happens there. And this might be something you want to slow down even more and do on your own. Put some music on. Might be kind of interesting to see how slowly you can go. But for the practical sake, for this video that we're doing together. We'll take a few more cycles of breath to bring the knees slowly closer together. When it feels like it's time, the soles of your feet will turn downward to find the mat, find the floor. And the knees will find each other. At that point, you might even relax the knees in and let your feet move a little bit apart. The legs just falling in on one another. We're about to rest. And just before we do, please bring your knees in and your feet up. Okay. You can circle your ankles again. Maybe do a V to your legs for a nice inner thigh stretch. You can hold the legs in closer if it's far to reach, or if you can reach your feet, you can go all the way out to the side. And to make it a lot more reachable, our last move is to bring the knees bent into happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. You might reach up for your knees, give a nice little pull, or reach for your pinky toe side of your feet and pull in. And some people prefer to hold steady. For others, it feels nice to rock. Last breath. Good, and then release the legs. I'm showing this video, really a class without any props except just the mat. But if you want to tuck a pillow or a rolled blanket under your knees for Shavasana, that's comfortable. You could go over to a wall and put your legs up the wall if you prefer. Or just relax your legs down and rest your hands where they're comfortable. Relax the throat breathing. Let it just be a nice, easy breath now. And let go into a well-earned rest. Shavasana. To start to transition out of Shavasana, take a deeper breath. Let it go. And taking more deep, complete cycles of breath, start to move your hands, your feet. You might stretch your face or do a yawn or a pretend yawn to stretch your jaw. Reach your hands overhead, lengthen out your healthy spine. Take a nice deep breath, long from head to toe. Okay. Rolling on over to your right side. I'm going to roll onto my left just so I can face you. If you're pregnant, recommend it to roll on the left. That's not what's happening here. For most of us, it's a good idea to roll onto the right side because your heart is on the left side. So give your heart some time to adapt to this new position. And then press down with one hand and then both hands. And make your way back up. Either cross your legs to sitting or come to a kneeling position or kneeling up on a little pillow. How's my hair? Okay. Hairstyle by Shavasana tends to have its effect. So easing back to a comfortable seated or kneeling position. Eyes relaxed, closed. My hope is that you feel better after this session than you did before. I wanted to offer this up to you as my way of showing my care and support. And whatever yoga video you watch, this one or any other ones that are out there, there's so many resources for you while you're living in a different way for the time being. But you just starting. Maybe you decide you're going to do 2 minutes of it. Okay. For me to shoot this video, I was pretty nervous. I was pretty anxious. This isn't the way I usually teach. I usually have you there cracking jokes and feeding off of each other's energy, and look forward to getting back to that. But for now, we did it. We got started, and you did something for yourself that nobody can do for you. So really good job. Thanks for spending this time with me, and more importantly, spending this time taking care of you. So please bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. Breathe. Abide in the sanctuary that your breath provides. Abide in true comfort, knowing how connected you are with every other yogi, people doing yoga practice keeping the community going through practicing on your kitchen floor or in your bedroom or on your deck. Connecting to not only people from your own studio and community, but yogis across the country, all around the world. And connecting in even a bigger way, if you will, to all the ancestors who've passed down these traditions. People that you've come from who've given you the strength to be who you are. You've made it through so much in life. And they did too. That's how we got here. And connecting to generations ahead. Yoga means to unite, to yoke, to come together. Thank you for joining me and joining one another today.